Right, welcome back to the Me, Myself, and Hopefully You podcast. My name is Tariq, a 19-year-old university student currently experiencing a midlife crisis. Why, you might ask? Because I have no idea what I want to do with my life. So rather than see a therapist like all men, I decided to start a podcast. Yes, a podcast. I've said podcast like a million times in this sentence, but a podcast, million and one, where I interview guests from an array of backgrounds and hear more about their story. And hopefully, by learning about them, I can learn a bit more about myself too. So, if you can relate, or maybe you just want to see where I end up, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new episodes, and share us on your socials, tagging at MMHY podcast, me, myself, and hopefully you podcast. And yeah, this week's episode is a different one, I guess. Well, I actually introduced him when he was there because I had the intro already set. So the intro is about to start in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time, he is the director of Broadband 9, a company which aims to solve your business's IT problems, and founder of Acronify.com. He has seen LinkedIn fame, which you wouldn't believe, and is probably the nicest man I've ever met, which I'm sure anyone who has had the pleasure of working with him will agree. It is Mohammed Ibrahim, or better known as Ibrahim, Ibby. Welcome to the podcast, Ibby. How are you doing?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much. Quite long. You said it was just going to be the intro. It's quite long there. Too many nice words there for me, but
I've got to fill it with nice words, Ibby. You know, I've known you for quite a bit of time, and like I said, that's one of the reasons I wanted to get you on. Is you're known for being this ethical businessman, which we'll get into sort of later into the podcast. Before I start asking those sort of questions, I want to start with some quick fire questions to you. The first one is going to be, it's a bit of a random one. What is the last picture on your camera roll?
What's the last picture? Hang on, let me just go get my phone. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I forgot to ask for you to bring your phone. Completely forgot that.
we were talking about phones and camera.
But
it's actually 25th of February. Can you see it there? 25th
your
of
website
February.
or something?
It's a picture of the laptop that I'm using, and I took it and I posted it on LinkedIn.
Why is that?
Because you see, sometimes to promote your website, just posting a link on there, people are a bit skeptical clicking on links. So if you do the job for them, where they can see your website as an image, it makes it easier, to digest the brand or the company. And the laptop that I'm using has got 2 screens. So it's got a main screen and a screen towards where the keyboard would usually be. Okay. So, by promoting kind of the website and utilizing both them, it's just a nice kind of scene. And quite a few people would usually comment or something like that as well, it's saying that it's got 2 screens or whatever, how you're finding it, that type of thing. But it took me a while to put my hand in my pocket and buy this laptop. It was pretty expensive because of the 2 screens. Yeah.
So what is this? I don't understand what this 2 screens thing is.
Yeah. So you've got a main screen, obviously. Yeah. So where you've got your keyboard, that's pushed down, and you've got another 4K screen there that's touch. So I've got 2 screens on the laptop.
So is it like the MacBook Pro with that sliding thing at the top?
Yeah. So the MacBook Pro, it has the sliding bar at the top. Yeah. But this is a fully functional screen. So what I do is I have the kind of WhatsApp and Outlook and calendar at the bottom, and then I've got the normal work at the top. So that's kind of what I like it for. It's very good for multitasking. We do a lot of monitoring as well, like monitoring of servers and things like that. So sometimes when I'm working and I kind of focused, it's good to have the graphs and the monitoring at the bottom screen. So if anything pops up, alerts us, you see, it just catches my eye. And because it's touchscreen as well, you've got like a little pen with it. I've not got it with me at the moment. It's like a stylus. Yes, it's amazing because, normally you look at this and you say, this is a bit of a gimmick here, because it's got 2 screens. It's the Asus ZenBook Pro Duo. And so I was watching a few kind of courses online, watching, learning and stuff. So I'm writing notes on the bottom screen as well, as you would do traditionally on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And because I started on OneNote, I was able to then review the notes on my phone as well later. So it's really cool. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I guess so much stuff is like that now. You can sort of transfer from one side to the other. But you're like, look at you, man, going deep into the pocket, spending like there's no tomorrow. Business must be going well, isn't it?
Took me a long time. Took me a long time. I don't usually spend.
I bet. No,
You gotta be
fair enough. I
careful.
mean,
Certain things like these, where it's nice, fancy, shiny, you want to buy it. And we thrive off tech. Tech's our business, yeah. And sometimes I'd see a new CPU that's just kind of been released, or something technical that's just been released. Okay, then I'd be like, speaking to Nathan, like, oh, should we get that? And he'd be like, no, you don't go get that, save your money. I'm like, yeah, you're right. We should save our money, we spend it in marketing or spend it on something else, and we do get that itch from time to time. And it's good to treat yourself, I do treat myself, like this laptop or, but after a very long time of working quite hard, and only then you can. Otherwise, all your money is kind of gone, and you've got to be wise, isn't it? You can't.
Yeah, you've got to be smart. Yeah, because you want to buy the new flashy thing, innit? Especially because you got your own business. You want to be ahead of the game, and so in your mind, you're gonna go, if I get this laptop, I'm gonna be ahead of the competition. I'm gonna be able to attract new customers. But then you got Nathan going, nah, you're kind of rubbish. You don't need this. You just want this. It's a difference between need and want.
It's true. Like if I have to spend a long time trying to justify it to myself, it means I don't need it.
One of the best ways that and I know I don't own a business, but one of the best ways I try and like not spend money impulsively is so I'll say if I want to buy something and I'm telling myself, oh, I need this. What I'll do is I'll write it down at the back of my notebook, and then I'll wait a few weeks. Okay. And if a few weeks and I can still remember what was on the back of that notebook, and I still feel like I need it, then I'll buy it. If I can't remember it, or if I go, oh, do you know what? And which mostly what happens is I go, oh, do you know what? I don't need it because I've survived the last 6 weeks or the last 3 weeks without it. Then I go, okay, I didn't need that at all. Because the amount of times I was impulsively buy stuff. So I write it down at the back and see whether I need it. It's a good way. So there's a hack for anyone that's listening or watching. Try that. You'll save a lot more money. Anyway, next quick fire. I think
my list will grow pretty big.
What's that? Yeah. Well, I mean, you got a business, so maybe you could separate it from business expenses to personal expenses. Or
you know, it's crazy. And then as a business owner, you can't, because, well, for me anyway. Yeah. Larger companies they can, they can separate business and work and stuff. But for me, it's the same thing. It's like it's my own home. Work is. It becomes your home, and your home becomes your work, and work. So it just kind of all amalgamates into one, really. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's not. You've got to separate certain things, But that's some people have strong points, where they can, and they can. It's all about self-control and these qualities.
Yeah.
But a business isn't, some text we see on a website or some fancy marketing, the employees and the owner. The business is a reflection of them. So every business is unique, isn't it? The more unique you are, the more different you are, the more different the business is going to be. Like there was this saying that I, heard online whilst watching some podcasts and other things. And they were saying that sometimes it's better to be different than to be better, like in terms of your business. Sometimes we want to always compete and become better at something. And then the lady was explaining that, we'll always be beaten. But new tech will come out, they'll surpass us. It's faster, they'll surpass us. They'll use a more expensive software, they'll get better than us. But something that they can never compete against is your difference that you have to offer. So understanding how you're different, that is as crucial as how you can provide the services, the actual business stuff, how you're going to sell, how you're going to market, stuff like that, really.
Well, when you're different, no one can sort of take that away from you, I guess. Because when you are you can be the best for a day, and then the next day you're at the bottom because the rest of the competition is beating you. And so now it's an endless cycle. Whilst if you're different, you're providing something else. And again, that's something that we'll probably get into a little later on. My next quick fire question is who would you say is your role model in life? If you could only pick one.
Like, it's a difficult question. And because in what, like, in life?
In life, in if you could only pick one to sort of aspire to be like in everything from business to your personality to how you deal with family, friends, etc. Who would you go with?
I choose you.
No,
Is that a wrong answer?
that is, normally I would say there's no wrong answer, but that is definitely the wrong answer. You can't. Oh no, you gotta pick someone. You've got to pick someone.
Pick someone.
You can't pick me, because then if you are on a different podcast, you probably say, "Oh, I'd pick you." It's got to be someone that you would consistently say. Ibby, I know that smile. Yeah, I know that smile. I know that you can't lie, Ibby. So I know that smile.
You see, role models is the thing is with the role model is you've got role models which you aspire to because your life has been changed because of them, and they become your role model. Sometimes we choose role models because we feel that they will be able to change our lives, or we like their image of life that they've portrayed. So a lot of young people's role models are the people who they see a lot of because they've always been, in front of them. The people have marketed themselves to them, like singers and rappers or other people as such. So in terms of role model for me, because I try to have my life, I say try, I'm not a very good example. And I try to have my life kind of shaped through the role model of my beliefs. And my beliefs are the kind of foundation of the company. Sometimes you never see or rarely you'll see the foundation of a company. So people who promote goodness, they promote, being ethical in business and being honest and trying to make a change. They're all my role models. Everyone is, because everyone's got something to show off about themselves that we need to learn from. I learn more from Nathan, who works as an employee, than he probably does from me, because he's in a different position. So in terms of like sometimes or anyone, who would work here, I would learn from them. And so they're my role model in learning. Then when it comes to role model in business practices, like let's just say technical, then it's people who are more technical than me, who have actually taught me, like my old boss, I'll name him. He's a very, very nice guy called Jonathan. And so he's my role model for the technical side of things, and how he goes about analyzing a problem and troubleshooting. So everyone is my role model. I don't have one person, you see, because we have to learn from everyone, you see, and I feel it's just a bit unfair.
See, normally I would push you, because I had someone recently that gave a similar answer, but I pushed them. I said, no, you can only pick one. But because that was such a good answer, I'm gonna let you off. I'm gonna let you slide. You can push.
You're in control here. You're the one asking questions.
So, but rather than push you for that one, I'm gonna push you for the next question, because I have a feeling you're gonna do something similar and philosophize your way out of this next question.
Yeah, I don't philosophize myself.
Oh yeah,
probably made them words up right now.
Yeah, I mean I do that all the time. It's fine, don't worry. You can do whatever you want on this podcast. You can say whatever you want. Don't worry. Unless you go big time, like really big time, and you say something controversial now, then I may or may not use that to cancel you in the future, to give me some leverage in the future, and make myself a bit famous. I might, that might happen. It might not. We'll see. My final quick fire question is: if God forbid, there was a house fire, and everyone was saved, everyone, any pets, etc., they were all saved, but you could only save one item, one like physical thing. What would that item be?
I could only save one item.
One physical thing.
I'm mentally going through my head at the moment what's inside my house.
and you've got your phone on you, and because your laptop's so important to your business, your laptop is in broadband 9, the rooms in the room that you're sat. So that's fine.
If the one thing I'd, inside my house that I'd take with me, obviously family are already out, yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, they're all safe.
I'd probably take my photo book.
Okay, that's a common answer. That's a common answer, like the physical photo album.
Yeah, you can't recreate those memories, and
Exactly,
I don't think
yeah.
I've ever scanned them before, to save them.
See, everyone says that. I always say to people when they give me the answers, why don't you get them scanned just in case? They're like, yeah, I'll do it. It's the sort of thing that everyone pushes to the side. But again, God forbid something like that was to happen. You just be like, I should have listened to Tariq and scanned them.
I'll tell you why. Because when you have a photo book, it's something physical, and when you touch something and you turn in the pages, you take the photo out, this whole procedure, nice, it's nice, and it activates an extra sense to kind of marry in with your memories. And like recently my family, they reorganized a photo book, and I couldn't sleep for a full week, because the pictures were like other way around, and they're like in different places. Like I used to have a set order, I used to go through them, and it was like, what the heck's going on? Where have all the photos gone? But I'm not joking, I could obviously sleep, but
I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
if you couldn't sleep from that, then I can't imagine how much you'd be sleeping with opening your own business.
Yeah, I don't sleep much, to be honest with you. Business is difficult, isn't it? Like, I tell you what happened with my sleep pattern. Right? I'd work, then I'd sleep kind of minimum, and then as soon as I get up, I'm like kind of thinking about work and do other stuff as well. Family, kids, the general life stuff. But then after a while, I just kind of crash.
Yeah. How many kids have you got, Ibby?
Have you got 2 kids?
Bloody hell, man. I still can't believe you're a dad, man. It blows my mind now.
You can't believe it. I can't believe it.
How old are your kids?
My boy is 3. My daughter's 1.
Wow. I remember when you told me you got married, and I was like, what? You got married? And then you told me you had a kid. I can't believe it. It does. Time does fly. Like I said, we've known each other for a long time. We haven't gone to the exact same mosque, but you went to the one that was nearby in the same town, I guess. And we always sort of have these chats every 6 months, every year or so. So that's why I took it as an opportunity when I had this podcast, is to get you on and talk more, not just about your business, but also just have a chat, find out more about what's going on, in Ibby's life, what you're doing these days, how the business is going, obviously, etc., etc. So before I ask sort of those sort of type of questions, I know you already sort of alluded to what you do, but why don't you introduce yourself a little, maybe to the viewers / listeners?
Okay, so I like breaking things, and then I like fixing things as well. You only know how to fix something once you've known how to break it. That's a fact. Okay, so so don't worry. Yeah, so I've broken plenty of things in the past, and then I'm that were already broken. So we have an IT company. I say we. There's a few, about three of us here, and we become an outsourced IT department for companies who are growing and they need IT help quick, fast, and kind of efficiently and securely, etc. So we become advisors, and then we also implement those advices, or whichever ones they feel they need to implement, whether that's security, whether that's kind of telephone systems. So very technical things. But in all, we look after the tech for a business. I think if we were to sum it up, and the return from that really is, I guess, their staff, companies, they feel a lot better that they can reach out to someone and ask for help kind of straight away when it comes to not being able to do something correctly on the computer or internet. So we help with that.
And when did you start the business then? What year was it?
Broadband 9, it started in 2018. probably July time.
Okay. So it's still sort of a young up and coming business as well.
Very
Similar
young.
to the ones that you help. Yeah. Very young in that
Very
sense.
young.
How did you come? Where did the number 9 come from?
You know, I just got asked this just before. That's why I was late for this podcast. Apologies.
Oh, okay. So you're 40 minutes late explaining what the number 9 is, isn't it? Yeah. Oh,
Someone came to
no dig there, no dig. I haven't got a life. It's fine.
Someone came to pick up a laptop
Yeah.
that we repaired for them. So what it was with the laptop was it was very slow. And he asked me to, I told him after this, you know, I'm going to a podcast. So he asked me to link him with this. So he'll be hearing this. It was extremely slow, you know. It just took ages to load. It was on its way out. We replaced the hard drive with an SSD, which is 10 times faster. It's a lot better. And it's just transformed the laptop totally. It's very fast. So
would you, just before you answer that question, would you recommend, if you've got a slow laptop, to rather than getting rid of it, which I feel like a lot of people do, and we did it with our previous laptop at home as well, would you recommend the first thing to do? Because my uncle with his laptop, he done the exact same thing. He swapped out for an SSD. Would you recommend doing that first before
100%.
going?
The thing is, it depends on the overall specification of the laptop as well. Like the CPU, the RAM should be adequate, and then it will complement a lot, you know, the speeds. But generally, SSDs, they transform it, you know, even if it's a low powered CPU and there's not a lot of RAM inside the laptop, you can get some extra few years. And nowadays, when you buy SSDs, they come with quite a long warranty period. So the SSDs we got delivered today, they come with 3 years. And the ones we've been fitting in the past, they come with 5.
Okay.
So they can come with 5 or 3 years warranty. So you can get quite a bit of time out from them. And majority of the times, the thing that fails in a laptop is the hard drive, because they're quite thin and they're slow and they have to be small. So the motor isn't powerful, and you know, they do fail quite often and they slow down over time. So you want to get that replaced.
Okay. Well, there's a tip right there for you. Take your laptop to Ibby, and he'll diagnose it. Anyway, back to the sort of broadband 9.
The number 9.
Yeah. Well, with your client that was in before this.
Okay, so you know, traditionally broadband, the way it works is you get a router, you plug it inside the telephone socket. That telephone socket wiring all the way to wherever it goes is maintained, mostly owned by Openreach, who are like, let's just say, used to be BT. Okay, so they're owned by Openreach, who still work with BT, and they are part of it as well to some extent. So that still happens. Okay, so we even provide internet where, you know, you plug a router in and you know, you've got internet from the BT socket. The issue is that you've got your line rental, and you know, it can be £15, £17. Your line rental can be quite expensive, can work out quite a bit. So we wanted to set up internet in Haslingden and kind of Lancashire area, or especially Rosendale, where we're from, where the internet would be transmitted through kind of wireless beams that would be on top of the rooftops, so as opposed to using copper cables underneath. So using copper cables is a bit of a slow and old technology, and you know, using wireless long-range Wi-Fi is a new technology, and you can get faster speeds. So we wanted to be a broadband internet company who would provide that. And the 9 came from, I like odd numbers, so I used to quite enjoy maths. Okay, so I like odd numbers, and
just the odd numbers though. If it was an even answer, then
no, it's fine. Even obviously numbers are numbers. Yeah, they don't have any. But you know, so I typed in Google. It's a true story. You know, broadband1.com, broadband2.com, and I went over all the way to 9, and 9 was available. And there's this kind of saying, you know, cloud 9, are you in cloud 9? You know, that type of thing. So I thought, okay, broadband 9, it kind of works. And then I'm a very visual person, so I like green and purple. I like green a lot, and purple is very.
I can tell by the background.
Yeah, we painted this. You know, we've got massive white. Let me show you. You know, if I can.
Yes, if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah,
Oh
so
wow,
it goes on for quite a bit.
it looks good
And
though.
there's a long
Very
whiteboard.
vibrant and happy.
Yeah, well, you gotta be in it. You
Mm.
sometimes you're stuck with a problem. The worst thing that you could was, your environment does help. You don't want to be in like a dark place trying to think outside the box.
Well, green is meant to sort of make you happy. Apparently, it's the color of happiness. So,
Really,
but then,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Apparently,
beautiful.
like if you look at green, the color green, it does make, and that's why certain colors. That's why green is so popular on the sort of social media apps as well. They sort of get you hooked and happy and stuff like that. But then again, at the same time, purple I think is meant to make you angry. So maybe that's why you get a bit stressed. Maybe you get happy, but then you look at the purple and you get angry. So maybe you need to sort that out. Maybe just make it all green with like white
Yeah,
stripes.
to mellow us down, and it people are too happy. They need to be a bit more that side, and
Yeah.
we've got to tailor
No,
for
I bet. Yeah.
both type of audiences, isn't it, Tariq? So
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. So I just, now that we've sort of got that clarified as to why you've called it Broadband 9, it's a brilliant story. The fact that I can just imagine you going, oh, let me try Broadband 1. No, that's not true. Right? 2, 3, going all the way up to, I wonder
yeah,
how many numbers you would have gone up before you went, I'll just choose a different name. It's fine.
we've got loads of amazing domain names, and we can, we can think of good like names and
Yeah.
be able to see if they're available. A lot of the time they are. Like I've got quite a few because we do web hosting. I can get domain names at a good rate.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things that BB9 also means is obviously we live in a BB postcode,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
BB1, BB2. So looking at Lancashire's kind of map for Pendle area, our area, there was specifically 9 areas that we wanted to target, and they all had
Oh,
BB at the front. So there was like BB 12, which is Padiham area, and BB4, which is our area, and there was 9 of them. There were a few that I didn't really want to target because of just the landscape issues and stuff like that. So that's where also BB9 came from.
oh, so it all comes together, I guess, which is, I mean, that's
There
quite
is,
nice.
it does. There were quite a few other reasons as well, like you know. So for example, broadband, the N last letter is N and then D. So the number 9, it starts with the letter N. So it kind of rolls off the tongue, broadband 9, as opposed to
Okay, yeah.
broadband 8
I,
or broadband
yeah.
7. Something that can
I
just
feel
roll.
like you came up with these reasons after you created broadband9.com and you were right. If someone asks me, what can I say? Right. It
Maybe I
ends with
got
an
asked
N.
that many times.
Exactly. And you went, you know what? Guess what? It ends with an N and 9 and begins with an N. That's why I chose broadband
There
9.
was a battle between Broadband 9 and IT Support Lancashire.
Okay. Nah, broadband 9's better. It's cooler.
Yeah, it's cooler because IT Support Lancashire or IT Rosendale, it just tells you the service and your location. And one of the things that I got from like the mentors who I deal with and stuff, relating to this is, look, you limit yourself then to a geographical area, too much where in your name. And at the moment, we've got clients who are in Cardiff, we've got clients who are in London, we've got clients, all over. So, you don't want to limit yourself. So you got to think big. So yeah, IT
100%.
Rosendale, IT Lancashire, and Broadband 9,
Nah,
the
I think you
brand.
went with the right choice. It just works. It sounds better. Like you said, it rolls off the tongue. So from that, I want us to sort of take a little bit of a step back and go a bit more to younger Ibby, or more younger Ibby, I guess, because you're not old despite the huge beard. I can't see any grey hairs, which is good.
Oh Lord,
Have you?
the
I
camera
can't see any.
setup scored. I guess I've got loads of
Oh,
grey
okay.
hair.
Oh, fair
Yeah,
enough.
I've got loads.
See, the best thing is when you have a fully grey beard. That looks good. When you've got that, then or like fully white hair, because then you look like a silver fox. I had one guy on recently. He's a former Wall Street vice president, and he fully silver hair, and it just looks so good. But when you have bits, it's not as good. Or like bits of greys. Even I get a bit ginger in the summer with my beard. It's weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think when it's black, we got black hair, you see, and then when it starts to go like white, then it's not either or. Gets a bit ginger.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. Anyway, yeah. So going back to sort of younger Ibby, I just want to start off was what were you like in school? Because you said you liked maths, but is that true? And what was whole high school sort of like for you?
Generally, people like the subjects that they're good at.
Mm.
Yeah, if you're good at a subject and you don't like it, it's probably because your teacher's not so good.
Mm.
You don't like the teacher. And high school was good, but at the same time, I did struggle at school, and not academically, but there's always this constant fight or this constant recalibrating your moral compass at school,
Okay.
depending
What
on
do
your
you mean by
social
that?
circle. So, like, let's just say, who you hang around with shapes you, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So that's going to change every single class. So how do you get me? So it's very difficult, and so sometimes you can lose yourself a little, or you can gain interests in those things that your friends are interested in,
Okay.
and because you're with them. So I loved school because we were all kind of together and we had lots of friends, and I'm kind of a chatty person, so we used to talk to everyone. Wasn't bad or anything, but I was pretty cheeky at school with the
Okay.
teachers, very cheeky. I remember once we had law, when they did law for a few years at high school. And what happened was in the beginning of the class, I dropped the pencil, and so I climbed under the desk, tried to find it. Anyway, teacher started, and I realized that she didn't actually know I was there. So I just kind of stayed under the desk for the whole class. The whole class, right at the end, I came out. I said, "Oh, there, I found it. I found a pencil." She's like, "Oh, where have you just come from?" I said, "I was under the desk finding the pencil. I got detention." So I remember making a website. I didn't like someone, and
Oh
I
man.
made a website in school saying such and such a person is, and then like a swear word
Oh.
.com, and a proper domain and everything. And I was more interested in the website, than I
Yeah.
was with the. So because I didn't get along with someone, so I got detention. So I was in trouble a lot. I
Yeah.
was in the stage 2 a lot, which is this
Wow.
thing. Yeah, you wouldn't imagine it. I was
I
on
wouldn't
report.
imagine that at all. No.
Yeah, I was on report card a lot. Where you had to get
Yeah.
your parents to sign things off, and that
Bloody
you.
hell. I was definitely not have imagined this.
I never did a single. I rarely did my homework. I used to do my homework in like the beginning of before you go into class,
Yeah.
inform and stuff. So I wasn't that thingy at school. It was just one of the. And the main reason I didn't used to do my homework, believe it or not, is because I never gave it time at home. I used to always fix and break stuff. And that was more interesting to me than to fill out lots of homework.
So where
And
did that start from? Where did the whole fixing and breaking start from?
my dad loves his gadgets, even now. Okay. So when I was young, I used to always watch him fix watches for people, fix little radios. So as I've grown up watching my dad, fixing things and how to use a screwdriver and how to use a soldering iron. I remember going to the market in Haslingden. There used to be a long time ago. They used to have like a market in Haslingden, and I used to go there and I used to buy bells and switches, and I used to go home and kind of put them together and press the button, and the bell would come on. And these things used to really, really fascinate me.
Yeah.
Like electronics.
Mm.
Just loved them. And it just used to really fascinate me how making lights and making these things. It was something I would they were my toys. Like we never used to buy lots of remote control cars or kind of other toys like that. my toys were, using my dad's screwdriver to open up a washing machine that was outside, for example, and take out the
Wow.
little switch and
Yeah.
go back home. And I used to have like a little drawer, still got it, but it's about, and I used to collect little electronic components. Um, and then friends used to come to my house and we just used to pretend to do stuff with it. So that's where it
Yeah.
kind of grew from. So we were one of the first houses in Haslingden, in our town, to actually have a computer. Um, and one of the things that entailed as well was a lot of like repairs with the computer. My dad used to like kind of fix the computer, break, and I used to watch him. So over a period of a few years, a large amount of spare parts got collected in the corner of the attic. And again, I used to just play with them, um, putting things together, taking them out. And eventually I built a computer using the old parts that my dad kind of had. I was really amazed, loading Windows XP on there. I was like, wow, this is so cool, using Paint, Microsoft.
Mm.
And it just grew from that. And I used to sell sweets at school. I don't know if,
Oh wow.
yeah, I used to sell sweets, chocolates. Never used to do drinks because they were too heavy in the bag. And
Mm.
I'm a small guy, as you probably
Yeah.
know. So the bag would kind of weigh down
Smart. It's
too
being
much.
smart. It's being smart.
So, but it got to a really, really good stage in that business. And I'll tell you how, because I had one person in every single year who would be selling for me. And on Fridays, we'd meet up in Memorial Gardens and Park, and we kind of cash in and I'd give them all a cut. It was amazing. You could buy so many chocolates and chewing gum and sweets from Home Bargains for such a low amount and sell it and make like 5 times profit.
Mm.
So I collected all that money.
So,
And on the way from school back to home, there's that computer shop on the main road. CCL computers or something.
yeah. Are you talking about the one that's on when you
Near
go past
Tesco.
Tesco?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. That
So
one. That one's still there. Yeah.
he's still there. Yeah, the guy's still doing his thing.
Same guy.
Uh, he's still there. Yeah, he's
Oh
still
wow.
there. He doesn't want to expand or anything like that because I did approach him and say, look, if you want, we could work together and we could really benefit. He says, look, I'm happy how I am. I
Fair
don't
play.
want more money and just keeping it there, just ticking over kind of. I said, no problem. Really, really nice guy. Um, I
Does he
went
remember
and
you from when you were a kid?
yeah, he did.
Wow.
Because I
Fair
remember
play.
when I was a kid, I went over and I kept going into the shop, um, looking around and looking at new components and trying to open the boxes that were in display, realizing that there's actually nothing inside it. So it was like, and my mom would say to me, "Why are you late for?" I said, "I was just at the computer shop." So it's just like sometimes even now I'd go in just to kind of recollect the childhood memories. So I used to go past there, and there was this display, big box, and it said it was like a liquid cooling kit from Thermaltake. As an old, so before before they invented like all-in-one liquid cooling kits, you had to literally put the pipes, the pump, the reservoir, temperature sensors, all the tubing
Mm.
and everything together. It's like plumbing. So they had this full kit there, and I kept going past it, and I was like, I'm gonna buy that one day. I really want it, because I just was fascinated by the idea of having water to cool your components inside a computer. And one day I bought it.
Oh
And it's
wow.
at home, through the money from selling
Mm.
chocolates and crisps,
So
like
how much did you
hard-earned
make from that then?
cash.
That
Huh?
is hard in cash. How much did you make from
Yeah.
that then?
How much did I earn?
Yeah, from that, yeah.
It wasn't a lot, but it was. It was like,
It will be for that for how young you were as well.
I reckon after all the expenses and cuts and everything, like I made about a tenner a week. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a
That's a
tenner a
lot for
week.
a kid, especially back then as well.
So with that £10, like I used to be able to, sometimes I'd buy I'd buy broken stuff, fix it, then sell it. And I always wanted to buy an Xbox, always. And every time I'd raise enough cash, like in pound coins and 50p's and stuff, yeah, I was like, I'm gonna buy an Xbox 360 with it. And I just couldn't, I couldn't. I was thinking of it under my pillow, I remember in art class, I made myself a wallet, a leather wallet, and then I used to put the notes in there under my pillow, and so I used to have like discussion. "Oh, I want to buy an Xbox. I already had the liquid cooling kit,
Yeah.
so I had this idea of liquid cooling an Xbox, and then I did it. I bought a broken Xbox.
Yeah.
Um, Learned how to fix it where it wouldn't overheat, and then I installed the liquid cooling kit, and it was like Frankenstein, you know.
I
I
bet,
found an
yeah.
old PlayStation 2 box that I used to case the fan and the reservoir and everything. And I got the tubes to go inside the Xbox, and it was cooling it down. And I was so amazed that it would work. I never used to play games. Can you believe I never ever used to play games, but I just loved the tech like that
Okay.
way inside it. Then that kind of evolved, and a few people asked me to build one, and then I actually built a website. It's half broken. It's still there, and I've kept it there just to keep it there, really. The Xboxsystems.net, and it showcased it, and Microsoft found out, so gave me a call. The
Wow.
team, yeah, the guys at the marketing team at Microsoft Xbox, they gave me a call because I sent them an email. I said, look, I've made this, and they said, well done. We like when people, you know, are like innovative and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what any of these words meant at the time.
Yeah.
I was just fascinated. Somebody give me
Like,
a
oh my
call.
God, it's Microsoft.
It's
Bill,
a
how are you?
scam.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
scam.
probably a scam.
Don't
Yeah.
go for it. Don't give him your card.
And your mum telling you, don't hang
Don't
up,
do
hang
it.
up.
That's it, man.
But
Then,
okay, so yeah, they called and then they told
he
you all the
called,
stuff, yeah?
and they basically gave me some links and you know, of to go on some forums to that website. Like within a few months, it got 500,000 hits,
Wow.
and I was surprised, you know, like, and I was a kid. I was still at high school, by the way. This is still me being at high school, and then we used that website to do our GCSE kind of coursework on. So I was really chuffed, you know, that from, you know, my website's there, and I made business cards. Um, and the way I made the business cards was I had an Epson printer, a photo printer, and I put photo paper inside it. I printed on the photo paper something I made in like Microsoft Publisher, and I just cut them out. And I went in school, started giving my business cards out. Everyone was like, "Whoa, you know, this is amazing," you know, like.
Yeah.
So I used to thrive off just being different a bit. And then Sir Alan's Young Apprentice. I don't know if you've ever come up, you know, Sir Alan's Apprentice program.
Yeah.
So a long time ago, they used to have another one where it was called Sir Alan's Young Apprentice, still BBC, but
Yeah.
it was like teens and young people, and they would do the same kind of tests and procedures and everything. And they gave me a call and said, we want to interview you to come on to the show. I had to fill out lots of paperwork,
Yeah.
send them a photo, tell them I was into it. It was a big process. And then finally, when it got around to it, I wasn't even in the country.
Oh.
I know. And they said they're really keen. And then they basically said, come back next year. But by that time, I'd finished high school. I didn't get to go into sixth form. And, you know, and I went into becoming an apprentice for a distribution company, an IT distribution company called Exertis. And in this intermediate time and also Saturdays, Sundays, I was working at a mobile phone shop. So the cool thing about the mobile phone shop was, you know, we were doing everything like from stocking shelves to, he made me a little desk and said, you sit here, I'll give you Xboxes and you fix them and I'll charge the customer. And he made a lot of money, you know, for how much I was being paid and everything. Like he
Yeah.
made a lot of money from it. And so my childhood is kind of very much so still revolves around the same kind of ideas and things that I'm doing now. So I always feel like a kid.
Because I guess
Sometimes
you're
I
still
act like
doing what
one.
you've always been doing.
Yeah,
And I
you're
guess
right.
that's good as well, because for starters, not everyone can do that. Not everyone can do what they did as a child. And a lot of people sort of, you know, try and do certain things that they did as a child. Maybe it's play a bit of PlayStation or watch a certain film or whatever because they want to feel young again. Whilst you're still, even though it's more of a serious situation where you've now got to earn money, you've got to put food in your kids' plate, etc., etc., it's still, you know, you're breaking things and you're fixing things at the end of the day. It's the same sort of process. To go back just a tiny bit there. So you finished, obviously, so you got called to for an interview at The Apprentice. I'm very hooked on this story now. You got called for an interview on The Apprentice. You weren't. I'm assuming you were in Pakistan when
Yeah,
it was going on.
because it was summer holidays, 6 weeks.
Yeah,
6 weeks holidays you get. We went over there, and then our time kind of got extended because the house literally broke down. We had to rebuild it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me this. Yeah, so the house broke down, so you had to rebuild it. So you had to stay there for a bit longer.
Extra.
Well, when you were there, were you like, oh, mum, dad, I've got this chance to go on Young Apprentice. I can't go anymore. Were you annoyed?
I wasn't annoyed, but I did explain to my mum and dad, and they just said, like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's not. So I was like, okay, that's a great answer, fine.
Well, yeah, I'd be fuming. I'd be like, no, I'm going. I'm getting a ticket. I'm somehow getting a ticket and going back, even for this interview. I mean, fair play to you.
The thing is, we were
stuck.
We were stuck there, and I could see we were stuck. There's no roof literally on top of our heads. If it rains, water's going to come. The house fell down. Our house in Pakistan, no one had been inside for 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so when we went, back there, it was like it was about to fall into pieces. So that had to get fixed.
When you went there, were there animals inside? And because 16 years is a long time, especially in Pakistan as well. Did burglars not try and go in and live there?
It took a long because we got some extended family there. It took them a long time to go inside when we told them that we were coming to clean the area up. But it was good fun learning different cultures, different areas. It really opened my mind up, because I've always lived here and going different areas, traveling around the world. I love traveling.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, I bet you were still young as well, embracing that culture. You're helping building a house. I mean, again, you're breaking things and you're fixing things. This time, it's not technological, I guess.
I'm not strong though. I've always wanted to go to the gym. In fact, I've never been to the gym in my life, right?
Have you not? Maybe
no.
You don't need to go to the gym. Just do home workouts.
I'm not got
the motivation, bro.
I've not got this. I'm not got. You need good discipline. You need a good routine. My routine's all over the show.
And but you look healthy. Yeah, I'm a fatty, so I need to go to the gym, but I just don't. And so, I mean, I run, especially since lockdown. I've been running, and I mention this all the time on the podcast. So everyone that's listening is probably sick and tired of me hearing it. But I run, and thankfully, I've improved a lot. But one of the things I'm really proud of is I've gone from before lockdown when it started, I could do 0 push-ups. I can now do 15 on the balance. I'm well happy with myself. Like,
good. It's a great achievement.
It's a mass. I can't wait to be able to get that number up and up and up. And that's just literally by just doing push-ups every day and trying, or not every day, but try and do it every day, as many days as possible. So if you do that, you'll get stronger. Trust me. I sometimes look in the mirror and I look at myself as if I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger because I'm looking at my arms. I'm like, geez, Tariq, you got a big arm.
Everyone fancies themselves. Don't worry.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially when I get a trim, hopefully it'll look a little better as well. Boris kind of cancelled my trim, so I had to shave it all off because I don't like having long hair. So I shaved it all off on the 31st.
I've never ever been to a barber's in the UK in my life.
Have you not? Is that why you always have the hat?
No, I've always had the hat anyway, but
I know I've never seen you without the hat.
Yeah.
It's so okay. So what does someone at home quit it for you?
My mom
quit it yourself. Oh, okay.
When I was young, when I was a kid, I had a phobia of scissors that they were gonna cut my ear off. Okay. Yeah, no, crazy, innit? What kids, man? They think of all sorts. Like my two.
Let me get this straight. So you were breaking things, yeah? You were getting into abandoned washing machines, could have electrocuted you or something. But someone's scissors, that's what you were scared of.
Yeah.
Out of everything. Okay, fair enough. But you were saying something about your kids.
Like, looking at them makes me laugh because, watching them grow and stuff. I'm always thinking, I wonder how I was, as a kid, looking back kind of thing. So it's funny because my mom's there and she's like, oh, when you were this age, you used to do this and now they're doing that. And, one of those ones. Yeah. So, life flies, man. There's a poem, a friend of mine from London. He's moved to London now. He used to always say about life itself. And he used to say, how did it start? It's Yeah, we used to go, life is said to be spun on wheels. Life is said to be spun on wheels. Death is something that everyone feels. If life was something money could buy, the rich would live and the poor would die.
I like that. You said you weren't going to philosophize anymore, but I'll allow that one.
What can I
That's a
do,
good one.
man?
That was a good one.
Let's categorize it under poems, not philosophy. So
All right. I mean, okay. One more time. I want to hear it one more time. Actually, no. Actually, save it. I want to hear it again right at the end of the episode. Just that can be our finish.
look,
So,
go ahead.
oh no, go on.
No, I was just gonna go ramble on about something, and then I realized I was gonna philosophize this.
Philosophize as much as you want. I'm joking. You can do whatever you want.
I've
You can reveal your hair if you want, because I've never actually seen it.
got white hair here. Look.
Whoa!
Can you see
I've
that?
never. That looks.
Look.
You know who you look. You know who Mr. Mercer is?
Yeah, dude.
He's got a little bit of that.
You got now. What it is? Can you see this red thing here?
Yeah.
That's my birthmark, right?
Oh wow.
That's my birthmark, and it goes all the way up.
Audio listeners, Ibby's pointing towards his forehead. He's got a bit of a birthmark on his forehead.
Oh, they can't see my white hair, can they?
No. I mean,
told you I had a
guys
lot.
can, yeah.
So there's my birthmark, and it goes up, and that's where it goes grey.
Yeah, it looks fine though. I mean,
it looks like I've been painting.
It looks like one of your kids has just gone like this to your hair.
Yeah, they might have.
No, but it's so weird to see your hair. I've never seen your hair for all those years I've known you. I don't think I've ever seen you
ask,
that.
Ask, say Ibby, I want to see your hair. But yeah, no
problem.
You
know Omer?
Yeah, no, yeah,
he wears a hat all the time as well. I think he took it off once, and I was like, "Whoa, Omer, I've never seen you with that hat," because he always wears one as well. And he, even in the summer, it'll be like a full-on winter hat. We'll wear one in the summer, and he'll just be like, "Yeah, it's just what I wear." I don't know. I just found it quite fascinating. And when you took it off, I was like, "Whoa, look at that! He's got full-on like flat hair. He's got a little bit of grays." Like, yeah. Anyway, getting a bit back, I want to still focus slightly one last time on the Apprentice story, right? So why didn't you apply for it again? Why didn't you go, right, I'll apply when you were doing your apprenticeship?
Because where I was, look, Serrano's Young Apprentice, if I went and I was on there, so it's only like a TV show, okay, and wasn't,
was there a big prize at the end, like the normal one? Like an opportunity?
Yeah, there was some money involved, but for me, like I didn't, fame is something to fear. Being on TV,
okay.
Yeah, it is, man. Especially when you're young, and you've got, because it can have an adverse effect on you, and it can ruin you, can ruin a person. You've got to know how to control it. You've got to be, fame is one of those things where a person has to treat insults and praises equal. Like, can't be affected by them.
Yeah.
Because it gets to your head, man. I mean, we're humans, right? We're small people. But people praise a person too much, they think they're it. So going online, going like on TV, this is why I have a love-hate relationship with LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I would have thought you love it. You're practically LinkedIn famous.
95% of my company's income is because of LinkedIn.
Okay.
We don't have a set marketing procedure. Okay, I just post random crap out there. I should probably do it more targeted and do stuff. And I could go on and on and on about LinkedIn and social media. Like, this podcast will be years long.
Talk about it. Talk about whatever you want, man. This is what this whole point of this is.
Well,
yes, I've got set questions, but I also want you to just have a chat with me. Because I want your clients and people that are on LinkedIn to watch this and go and learn more about you, because there's all these stories which I guarantee you 99% of your clients don't know about. And when they see that, either future clients or present or clients that are already working with you, I want them to see that and go, oh, whoa, this guy's an actual guy. He's got this in there. Oh, that's quite interesting. I'll set up a call with him. And
he's an actual guy.
Yeah, no, but
honestly, a better robot.
it gives. I think what I like especially about sort of your LinkedIn presence, and it gives your business like a personality.
Yeah.
Because you are your business, and obviously I get every sort of small business is like that. But what you've done, and particularly on LinkedIn, is it's about sort of, this is my company, this is what I'm about. My company represents me and my values, like you sort of mentioned. And but having this podcast, one of the reasons I got you on is this now gives Broadband 9 a story as well. Because everyone knows, or everyone that has worked with you, they know the story from when they worked up to you till now, but they don't know the story before they heard of Broadband 9. And that's what I want this to give. So you can talk about whatever you want. Tell me, rant about LinkedIn. Go for it. I'm enjoying the conversation.
So what I used to do on LinkedIn, what I'm doing on LinkedIn, I used to do on Twitter, but I cancelled Twitter off. It was getting too much, and that was not really business related. Like, so I had some perception of kind of social media and stuff. And LinkedIn I've been doing for like posting consistently every single day for the past 3 years. And except for the times that I'm off, like completely off, I've gone away for 6 weeks or something, I won't post because I won't have access. So, and it's given me such a good foundation of a community. Recently, you joined that WhatsApp group, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's kicking off like
see what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, you people are helping each other, and a community is built of like-minded kind of people. Now, everyone has good qualities inside them. So my aim is to understand people's good qualities and how I can implement them in the company, and best practices, how I can and learn. My main reason of learning or going on LinkedIn was because I wasn't confident initially that what I'm doing is going to be the right thing. If I'm going to be doing something in relation to accounts for the company, am I doing it the right way? So I'm a techie. I wasn't really a true businessman, maybe an entrepreneurial type person, okay, let's just try selling this and let's get this just broken and fix it and flip it, that kind of thing. But business is different. You have to do things, in a nice way, and do it properly. So for me, it was more about making sure that the things that I do are done properly. That's when I met other tech guys. I'd say to them, look, am I doing this the right way? To say, okay, no, let's try this, try that. And they would ask me about stuff relating to them. That I'd ask kind of business. So I get a lot of help on there. That's why I vowed not to, stop helping on LinkedIn, because the amount I've received is purely
give back.
Yeah, definitely, man. I feel in debt towards everyone. Even if they've not helped, they have, because by just being a connection and just by viewing the post, LinkedIn actually uses that for their algorithm to propel your post more and to build that momentum on a specific post. So LinkedIn do use that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why, there'll be certain things that you'll post that I'll get and I might comment or whatever. But then there'll be other things I'll be like, I have no idea what he's on about. He's on about something technical and I've not got a clue. But I'll still like it. If it needs sharing, I'll share it, comment or whatever, because the algorithm helps that, And I'm not trying to come across as this angel that likes to help everyone, but because, I'm not that. But I do like to help everyone. I'm just not an angel. But like on social medias, and this is sort of for everyone that's listening or watching, the impact that a like, a share, a comment, it costs nothing. Like, we're so lucky because we can do all these things in a second. But back in the days, you would have, if you really wanted to share something, you'd have to go outside and tell it to the world and be like, guys, look, this guy's got a podcast or whatever. You can literally just share it on your Instagram or tweet it on Twitter or like and comment on it. Like, just be like, oh, this sounds good. That can just be a comment. You might not have a clue what the person's on about, but taking that 1 or 2 seconds helps a business out, particularly an up and coming business. I think sometimes people forget, the impact that they can have.
It's underestimated.
Very little. Yeah. And
definitely.
One of the quotes that I really like when you mentioned that sort of how you feel in debt to everyone, even the people that haven't necessarily directly helped you. One of the quotes, and this is me being a philosopher now, is something like, I don't know who it's from, but it goes something like, the rent you pay in this world is the service you give to others. Like, you've got to give back for the fact that you're even alive or you're in this position. and you've got to give back to sort of everyone. And I find it such a good sort of mentality to have, because it humbles you all the time, because it doesn't matter how well you're doing, because you're always almost in debt to more and more people. And it's a good debt, not a bad debt. It's a good debt to have, because you remember to help people all the time.
100%.
To carry on, I know we've not really gotten into business questions, but I've enjoyed this conversation so much, because again, it's more about you, the man behind Broadband 9, etc., etc. But to get into more sort of entrepreneurial questions, and this is sort of a direct question, is how did you get over, when you started Broadband 9, how did you get over the fear of no longer having a fixed sort of income?
Yeah, it's difficult, you know. You have to accept, to do business, the foundation of it is the acceptance of this particular fact. A lot of startups fail because they've transitioned from a paid job, something that's going to give them income, into something that now they've got to fight for income, and they fail because after 6 months, after a year, after 3 months, after 2 years, whatever, the pot of money they've got has kind of gone down.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, look, I've not really got a choice. It was something I've always wanted to do. And I said, let me try it. And I just got a lot of support from people, who sympathized with me trying. And again, it's because of the community around us in terms of the business community outside. So I got motivated by that. One thing that was really helpful is my customers were my fans in that sense. So every client that I have, they're more of a supporter than they are a client. They're with me or with Broadband 9 because they want to support the company, rather than going with a blue chip company, a bigger company, or whatever.
They could go with a bigger company and get potentially, almost, well, they could go with a big company and guarantee to get a certain level of service, or they could go with you and go and know that they're helping a small business, getting a trustworthy person and someone that's not going to rip them off.
Yeah, that's it. So this is so it was using that that I found, that look, that really stood out to people. And that's how we kind of grew initially pretty fast, and it was all been referrals, where originally a customer would, my first client is a friend from Haslington, and he always wanted me to do their kind of IT for their company. And that was the foundation. And after that, I was able to template in my mind what system I'm going to use for the invoicing, what system I'm going to use for the IT support when they've got issues, learn from the typical type of problems that external staff have, how to efficiently handle them, etc. Go forward and then apply this template to other companies and tweak it. And then for larger companies, tweak it. For a one-man band, tweak it. So like that, we've got quite a few different models of how we can work. So, but anyway, back to your original question of overcoming that kind of fear. I didn't fear it, to be honest with you. I didn't fear that, not because I was comfortable, with things. I didn't fear it because I knew I had no choice but to make it happen. And I didn't think, if it doesn't happen, what to do. I think if you think behind you, you'll end up fearing it. So I kind of try to have a forward vision and just be fueled by the kind of dream of 1 year's time, 2 years' time, 3 years' time. Initially, Boost Business Lancashire. So they are like a government funded project. And what they do is they look for small companies like me, startups, thinking of starting up, and they'll put them on workshops, and so I enrolled on that. It's free, really, really good. and we did a workshop called an orbit plan. So an orbit plan is, let me just show you, okay? So let's just say, I didn't plan we were going to do this in the podcast. It just came to my mind, right? So for example, this is for, I'm going to try making it as clear as possible for all the
So if
listeners.
you're on Spotify or you're listening, then
yeah, exactly. But and I'm going to find it difficult to actually show this. But
right.
Imagine you've got a circle, okay? And in the middle is your year 0. Okay, then you've got another circle towards the outer circle, that's year 1. And then you've got another circle, so there's 3, that's pen's running out, year 2.
Yeah.
And the end one is year 3, okay? That's year 3. What we would do is we'd have a spoke going out, and each spoke would represent a certain thing. So for example, this one is turnover, right? So it's such a rubbish diagram. The viewers are gonna laugh their heads off. A 3-year-old can do better. So the year 0, that's where we are currently. We want to get to that. So what you do, you fill in where you are at the moment. So let's just say turnover, let's just say we're on £10,000 a year. I'm just, saying.
And that is it for this week's episode. I think it might be the longest one yet. I don't know because I've not edited it yet, but it might be the longest one yet. If you watched it till the end or you listened till the end, then bloody hell, I need to give you a hug when this COVID thing is up. I'm not going to. I don't like hugs. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it. I just don't like physical contact. It just doesn't make me feel comfortable, right? I just don't want it, okay? I've tried to like hugs before and it's just never worked out. But I'll give you I'll give you a proper handshake. I don't mind the handshake. But anyway, I'm getting carried on away. This episode, although this podcast is about interviews, I really like this one because I know Ibby for a long time. We've known each other for a long time. We've had chats before, as I've mentioned in the podcast, and so it was more like a chat between two of us and having a catch up. If you enjoy sort of episodes like that where I'm just having a chat with a friend, then let me know in the comments below or give me a message on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, wherever. Because I enjoy them, and to be fair, even if you don't enjoy them, I'll probably still make them because they're fun to make. Hopefully soon there should be another episode that is like this one where I just sit with a friend. It'll be like 30 minutes. I don't want it to go any longer. 30 to 45 minutes where I just sit down and have a chat and talk about politics, social media, mental health, whatever is really on our mind. So yeah, maybe I'll do something more like this. But let me know in the comments below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe if you are new. Why am I speaking like a YouTuber? It makes me cringe so much. I don't know what I'm saying. I need to end this video. Thank you very much. Have an amazing week. Until next time.